right. So that's what we'll be looking at for today. And in a moment right now, I'm going to be bringing my guest. A moment from now, I'll be bringing my guest on board. All right. So any moment from now, I will be bringing my guest on board to join us, and we'll be discussing something profound. For today, we're going to be looking at how can we build Africa's future with purpose. And this is your wonderful podcast, the Growth Code podcast, brought to you by Fash Media Concept. My name is Fash Michael Olaito. I'm going to be your host for today. And today I will be having with us, join us, uh, Umar Yusuf, Umar Abdullahi, beg your pardon. He is a youth advocate development expert, and together we are going to be looking at what the future holds for Africa when we come together to work as one. And this is the focus of our discussion for today. My name is Fashmo Michael Olaiton. In a moment from now, I'm going to be bringing my guest on board. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the short break. Thank you so much. Wow. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Abdullahi.
Good morning, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, it's so good to have you join us today. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here. And happy International Youth Day.
Yeah, happy International Youth Day. Thank you so much for all you do. It's been a while, it's been a long way coming, and I believe we're going to have eventual conversation. Thank you so much. Please, I will just want you to help me share to your community that we are live. So, in 1 minute, I will just have to share it with my community member as well for people to have to join us because at the point we can have their question and also project it right here. So, in 1 minute, please, you may want to probably share the YouTube link I see some of your community to get to know we are live. And before 3 more minutes, we're going to start in proper.
I will do that. Thank you.
Correct. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly 11:15. I think we're actually on time. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Malam Umar. It's a honor and privilege to have you join us once again. So before we start proper, I've prepared five icebreakers for you. You're just going to pick from number one to five. I'm going to read the icebreaker to you to actually start the conversation.
Okay, I will go with number three.
All right. So question number three says, yeah, you are a man that travels a lot. You travel a lot, a whole lot. You're always on the road. You travel a lot. So what is that thing that you miss whenever you are not at home?
Um, I think I miss the traditional food of Kasna because I am a person that love food, and one of the things that I miss most is the food and tuwo precisely because sometimes I feel like I want to eat tuwo so much. That was the thing that I miss most, especially when I travel far.
Yeah. So you are a lover of your culinary. That's great. So let's go. Which other question will you pick apart from three?
Okay, I will go with five.
Question number five. All right. Also, this question has been drawn from your activities as a youth development advocate. And the question is what unexpected lesson do you learn whenever you are leading any event program that is directly at youth development? What unexpected lesson do you learn from event like that?
I think the biggest lesson is that you have to be ready to change strategies at the middle of execution because sometimes you will plan everything the way you want it to happen, but out of a sudden, something can happen along the way and you have to change your strategy. So, being flexible and be ready to adjust in a situation, especially at the middle of execution, that is one of the things that I learned most. And I believe every young person should also try to be like that. Whenever you are doing things, if they didn't go the way you want them to go, try as much as possible to do that. You are flexible enough to accommodate the change and also make it perfect. This is the biggest lesson.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Flexibility. You don't need to be rigid whenever you are executing your prepared project because sometimes exigencies do come up, and then your ability to be flexible will ensure that the event goes smoothly. So the last one, three to five, the last question before we dive deep into the program.
Okay, I will go with number one.
Number one. All right, I love this. I was expecting you to mention number one at at the first question. So if we had to swap, listen to this very, very well. All right. Which of Africa's leader are you willing to swap position with? Let's assume you have the privilege to become a president of any African country. Which country will it be in Africa?
Wow. This is a very strong one and a tricky one, to be honest with you. Um, well, actually, I can't say that I don't want to be any one of them, but to be honest with you, uh, I don't have a specific role model for now among all the African leaders that we have currently. But if to see as person of influence that has established himself in Africa, I will proudly choose Mr. Kofi Annan of Ghana because he is somebody that I look up to and I see him as a person of integrity, someone that has laid foundation to a lot of developmental programs that are going on across the globe. So I believe if to choose anyone from African region as a leader, I would choose Kofi Annan. While as a president, Mr. Nelson Mandela is my role model in Africa, and I always look up to him. I see him as a mirror, and he is the kind of person that whenever you reflect on the kind of struggles, the ups and downs he went through to establish a nation itself, that is a person that you will always be proud to look at his achievement. And there are many other co-founders in the country, even here in Nigeria, we have a lot of people Sir Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello, Sir Donald Sokoto, and Abubakar Tafawa Balewa and the likes. All these things are people that we look up to and we learn from their journey, from their lessons. But for now, looking at how things are going, to be honest, there is no leader that I will love to reflect on what he is doing, because let's be realistic. African leaders are not doing what we expect them to do. Because if you look at Africa's participation in global stage, whenever leaders are meeting, Africa usually goes with requests. They are not trying to offer solutions and things that will showcase the world that Africa is ready to collaborate, is ready to also give value. But we are always requesting for funding, for support, rather than we to go with also something to showcase that we are ready to bring the development that we want to bring. So I believe for now, I don't have any leader that I look up to currently in the Africa region, but I hope in the near future we will see a lot of leaders that are coming to showcase that Africa is strong enough to lead the global change that we want, and they are ready to transform the life of their people, because things are not going the way we want them, to be honest. Thank you.
This is challenging. As much as I love your selection, to me, I actually find it challenging because while you're making mention of some of these great leaders, I come to realize that a good number of them are not people in our modern age. We're talking about leaders that have served 30, 40 years ago. So I want to put it to you before we dive deep again. Does that mean we don't have a crop of good leaders when it comes to contemporary society in Africa? Because those people you are mentioning now, they are people. Nelson Mandela is dead, late. Kofi Annan is known for his great exploit in development of Ghana and Africa as a whole. And a whole lot of those that I have mentioned in Nigeria talk about Sadauna of Sokoto, talk about Azikwe and whatnot. So I would like you to shed more light on this. Does that simply means to you that in contemporary society in Africa, we don't have leaders that are good enough that we can look up to?
Oh, well, for me, I believe leadership is the process or act of guiding and directing people to achieve a set goals or objectives. And for me, being in position of responsibility is not being a position where you just make policies and laws. No, I believe that being in a position of responsibility is you leading people with empathy, showing that you care for them, and doing things that will make their life better. However, what we are seeing in every country in the African region, if you look at the kind of development we are going, as if we are moving in the opposite direction of where the world is going. Because people are saying that there is development, but however, the index of the poverty, when you reach the people in rural communities, in marginalized and underserved communities, you will understand that the extent to which media is showing what we are doing is different from the reality, because people are suffering, people are facing a lot of difficulties in Africa and as a whole. Look at the global economy. Of course, we believe that the crisis of economy is across the world. However, we are feeling it the most. Look at the environmental issues that are happening every year. There is prediction of flood, disasters. What are we doing? People will be left on their own until after the disaster happened. Then you'll hear the leaders coming out to call for donations, for support, for aids, which is something that we don't want to be hearing from our leaders. I believe we have people that can lead. However, they don't have the mechanism and the support around them. They are just looking for the position for the sake of saying that I am the leader, not to serve the people. And specifically, if you look at all the leaders around us, you can't mention many names to say that these people are doing the right thing that we expect them to do. We have the resources, both human resources, material resources, and natural resources. However, our life is not moving the way we want it. Every day, the index of poverty is increasing in Africa region, which is entirely different from other regions. If you go to other regions also, they have their problems, but however, their life are better in terms of educational development. Look at how technology is advancing. Yet in Nigeria, still We are not producing so many things. So we cannot say that we are happy with what the leaders are doing, but I believe with transformation and with kind of young people engaging themselves into learning and also practicing what they learn, I believe we can change the narrative by joining the politics, by participating in community engagement, in joining every kind of movement possible with the heart of bringing change and development in our society. I believe with that. However, the current thing that we are seeing is not leadership for me. I can say we are seeing people just managing and governing the society, but leadership is entirely different from what we are seeing today. Thank you.
Uh, that is quite comprehensive. As much as I want to share in your sentiment, I still believe there's a lot more that we can do. And that's the reason why we're having this conversation, because we believe when we have productive conversation, it can actually propel change. It can actually propel positive mindset that, will bring economic prosperity to our dear continent of Africa. So let's go deep into the topic for today. We're going to be looking at youth-led change. How can we build Africa's future with purpose? And then this is what this conversation will be centered around. Now, you have laid the foundation, and I'm going to put it to you right away. Do you believe there's still hope for Africa to build a formidable nation, with economic prosperity for its people? Do you believe there's still hope for Africans? Because we have actually, decried some of the challenges we're going about, talking about the economic indices, the poverty level keep increasing, talking about insecurity, and a whole lot more. So to start this conversation, first, do you believe there is hope for Africans to actually build economic prosperity for its people and the continent as a whole?
Yeah, I believe Africa, more than every part of the world, have the potential to leverage on to become even the global center for development. This is because if you look at the global population index, by 2060, it is estimated that Africa will have the youngest population in the entire world. And currently, Africa, more than 65% of the young people in the world are from the region. That is to show you that Africa has the potential, because I believe human resources is one of the most important resources that one might need for development. So I can say that Africa, we have the resources, especially human resources. And also, not only the human resources, Africa has what we call the natural resources. In all part of Africa, we have fertile land, a land that is fertile enough to plant every kind of things that we want to cultivate. We have natural resources from petroleum, crude oil, gold, tin, and many others. So I believe Africa, we have what it takes, the human resources and the material resources. But what do we lack is leadership. Leadership in the sense that people that will trigger the fire within the young people and the general population in the region to understand that they can be more than spectators of the global development and contribute enormously toward achieving the desired goal. So Africa has all what it takes. We have the population, we have the market, we have the resources, and we have the energy. Now what is left is to bridge the gap between action and the reality. Young people in Africa have the energy and the zeal. What we need is skills development and the reorientation of our people to understand that the development of Africa depends on us. We cannot always wait for international aids to come and save us. The goal is for the Africa to understand that the development is for all of us, and we should all be part of it by contributing, by sharing our resources, our energy, and what have you. I believe with that, young people in Africa can help in doing so, because now, if you look at the global trends and the technological advancement, you can understand that there are a lot of young people in Africa that are contributing and developing to the global stage. Many young people from the region are seen as role models that are developing so many practical solutions that are addressing critical problems. Now, the first thing that we need to do as a society in Africa is to remove the mentality of moving out of the continent for greener pasture. And we cannot do that unless when the leadership make Africa a sustainable environment or an conducive environment where talent and energy can be nurtured into something positive that the society could benefit from. Because no matter how good you are, if you don't have the enabling environment, you will not prosper and you will not reach your full potential. So if we came together as a community to develop ourselves and make policies and enact the policies, not only make them, but make sure that people are following that policies, make the environment to be suitable for talent to grow, talent to reach their full potential, and also invest in our region. Because most of our leaders, even the corrupt ones, when they steal our money, they take them to the Europe, to other part of the country, the US. Why are we not investing our resources here? If to say even the people that are doing the corruption are investing here, I believe our development will have passed where we are now, and we would have reached the level where we will be proud of ourselves, and also we will not feel the severe pain that we are feeling now. Thank you.
That is quite comprehensive. Thank you so much, Malam Umar. Very grateful for that thought of yours. I think we have people watching us. Please kindly drop a comment wherever you are watching us from. I would love to put you on the spotlight. Please kindly tell us your name and where you are watching us from. This will be brought on board to actually, have you contribute to the conversation as well. And if you have questions for my guest or for myself as well, you can type it in the comment section and then it will be projected so much for that. It's actually a very comprehensive one. So, very briefly, I will want you to actually walk us through your journey. What exactly inspired you into youth leadership, particularly on climate advocacy? What exactly is that thing that inspires you? Because looking at your background, you are in the sciences. All right, you are in the sciences, and then it is actually kind of though related, but to me, it's still very far from humanitarian services and what have you. So, tell us your story.
Okay, Nigeria is a country that they said it will shape you if you don't shape yourself. And being a Nigerian, I believe I have the ability to adjust to any situation and condition I find myself, and which is one of the reasons why I am doing what I am doing. However, this is a long fashion that comes in from the inner voice of myself. I study chemistry specifically, and at master's level, I study environmental resources management. This is because of my love for nature and my love for environment. I am the kind of person that sometimes I would love to find myself in an environment which is quite serene, green, and enjoyable. So one of the things that makes me to focus more of my energy into the environmental advocacy is the love for the nature and the love for the environment. However, if we look at it critically, we'll understand that if there is anything that will bring people together or that brings people together, share things commonly, is the environment. Environment is only the one thing that you cannot say my environment is different from other. If we are living in the same community, our atmosphere, the upper part of the environment is similar. From Nigeria to America to Europe to any part of the world, the atmosphere is the same. You cannot say there is demarcation between our own part and your own part. So that is why it is necessary for all of us to take care of the environment and to take care of ourselves. Because directly or indirectly, if the environment is not happy, we will also not be happy, because so many things will happen that can affect the environment and eventually affect our health, which will eventually affect our livelihood. So that is to show the kind of interconnection between the environment and who we are as human beings. And also, as someone, I love advocating for youth engagement because I believe in the power of youth. Young people are the backbone of every society. If you want to see the future of any society, look at the young people. So that is why I am much interested in carrying young people like myself along to see that we build a future where we will be happy in the next few years. At the same time, our children, when they are coming, they will be happy with what we left for them. Because if we did not endure the pain today, tomorrow we will suffer and our generation will suffer. However, when we endure today, I believe we are going to enjoy tomorrow, and also the generation that are coming after us will enjoy more than us. At the same time, we laid a foundation whereby people will come in and have a peaceful life. Because for me, I don't believe that it is a testimony when someone is coming out to share that he has suffered in his life and he is trying to tell people to endure pain. Pain is not something that we should be proud of. Let us create an environment and community whereby things will be easier for everyone so that people will grow without being traumatized. People will grow to their full potential. But I don't believe that whenever people are sharing their testimonies, they will start to tell you that they have suffered this, they have suffered this. It is unfortunate for you that you suffer. But what are you doing to make it better for other generations that are coming after you? That is sustainability. We meet our today's demand without compromising the future. So young people are the heart of every movement and every society. And I believe if we invest more in the young people, we are creating a future that we will be happy for, and also the generation that will come after us will continue to be happy. The first thing you ask me is a leader that I think I am proud of or I want to be like when I grow. I am telling you that there is none. So this is not what we want our children also to say about us. We are trying to create image and also a legacy whereby when our name are mentioned, the young people will feel happy and proud to mention that these are our fathers, they are our grandparents, and they are our people that make our society better. There are so many examples that we can mention that in every state, if you go, there are peculiar names that if you mention them, people will only say a prayer and a phrase to their name. This is because they endure the pain of suffering and make life better for others. Look at Mahatma Gandhi of India. He is a great example. He is a freedom fighter, somebody that fights for the liberation of India. And today, wherever you go, in any office you went, public or private, you'll find his picture placed in India. This is to show you that the man has worked to the extent that his legacy has been immortalized. And even us that are living far away from India, more than thousands of kilometers away, we heard about the information and we learned from his struggles and from his contribution to his country's development. These are the things that I believe young people should be thinking of, young people should be putting on, and these are the kind of things that makes me to feel like I want to do this kind of movement that I'm doing, and I will continue to do that until I wrote my name with a golden fame, because I don't want to live a society whereby after I am gone, the history will forget me. No, I want to live a life whereby even after my life, people will mention my name and say that this person has contributed enormously to our development and we will never forget it. Thank you.
You. Thank you. I think Africans, Africa, the world need people like you, people that are conscious of what they will leave behind. And I'm not, I'm not so surprised because to me, you're speaking from the place of awareness. You're speaking from a place of understanding your purpose, understanding your essence, understanding, how you want your life to be, not just why you're living it, but even when you are long gone. And that will lead me to the next question. If you see a lot of African youth, you realize that many are living without a sense of purpose. Many are living without a sense of purpose. The words that you have actually, communicated with us right now demonstrate the fact that first you've understand your purpose and you're living it because you actually want to leave a legacy that outlived you when you're long gone. So my question to you now is that how can young Africans align their purpose with let me take the question once again, please. How can young Africans align their passion with a sense of purpose? How can young Africans align their passion with a sense of purpose? Do you get that? Oh, I think okay. Yeah, Malam Abdullah. Yeah, you can go ahead, sir, if you get
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But, well, as you are talking, then we have technical glitch. I couldn't hear the complete question. Please, can you come back again a bit?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, just a minute too. All right. So I was asking you that how can young Africans align their passion with a sense of purpose?
Okay. You see, one of the things that young people don't understand is when you want to find a passion and a purpose of life, you have to view yourself and analyze yourself critically. You, as an individual, you know that there are things that when you do them, you will feel happy. And there are other things that when people are doing them, they will make you sad, anger. So these are the things that one need to consider. You should align your purpose with things that are making you happy and also addressing things that are making you sad. With this, you will develop a goal and orientation that you are focusing your energy based on things that matters for you. So most African young people are not viewing it from that point of view. When you want to find your purpose, the first thing that you need to do is identify your purpose is by looking at things you love, things that you do better, and also things that you don't like and things that are not going in the way you want them. For example, as I told you that I love environment, and I love seeing myself in a nice environment. And at the same time, I don't like seeing people vandalizing environment or spoiling the environment, which is one of the reasons why I choose to advocate for sustainable environmental practices. This is to save the environment. And by doing so, I am putting my energy into something that I love to do, something that I like. With that, I believe no matter how long it takes before achieving the goal, I will endure and I will continue to adjust myself to the extent that I would love to achieve the goal of making environment a better place for all. So that is why I believe it is essential for every young person to understand his likes and dislike, then channel your energy toward things that you love doing and things that you see that makes you happy. From there, then you also try to advocate for things that are not making you happy. With that, you will find a purpose, and after finding the purpose, then you develop yourself. You see, no matter how much you want to have purpose of life, if you don't develop yourself and understand where you are heading to, so actually, you will not achieve the end goal that you want to go. For me, I don't believe that success is a destination. I believe that success is a journey, and that journey is progressive toward the actualizing your end goal. So when you are trying to achieve your goal, it is good for you to understand that every little step that you take toward heading to that final goal, I believe it is a success and you should celebrate it, you should enjoy it. So that are the kind of things that I believe we should be considering as young people in finding our purpose, channel our energy in things that we like and things that matters for us. Then from there, we continue advocating for it, we continue doing it, and with that, you will develop a sense of ownership and also resilience and endurance to actualize the goal. Because sometimes that is what you call burnout when you are doing things and things are not going in your way. So if that thing is not something that matters there to you, you will just drop it out, and at the end of the day, you may not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So for me, I believe young people, when choosing their goal, should focus on their energy on things that matters for them and things that makes them happy. Then you do that and you continue developing yourself through learning. Continuous learning is something that will help you to understand that development is a gradual process, and as you work toward the goal, you will understand that things are heading in the direction that you want them to go. And as a young person, you will find your purpose in the sense that you will know where you are heading to, and you will know the goal, and you know what you need to do to achieve the goal. And these are the kind of things that as young people we should always look up to, and also try to find purpose. Purpose, I don't mean that you must find a problem in the society. No, you should find something that can contribute positively to the society and to the community. And when you find it, then you try to align it in such a way that you yourself will also benefit in that process. Because whatever we do, if there is no reward attached to it, at the end of the day, it will be waste of energy and waste of time. So I believe when, as young people, if we are to find our purpose, we should consider things that are critical in our society, that are dear to our heart. We channel our energy and we try to make them something that we can make a living out of and also benefit the society. Thank you very much.
Much. Just for a moment, I'm gonna bring you back on board. I think while you're speaking, the network seems to be fluctuating. So I'm gonna remove you, and then you can join me back in a minute. I'll bring you back on stage right now. I feel the all right. Yeah, I think yeah. Can you hear me now, sir?
Loud and clear.
Fantastic. So your image seems still, but I hope we'll be able to fix that. So let's quickly talk about mindset. Let's quickly talk about mindset because I believe for us to have the economic prosperity and growth that we are looking forward to in Africa, there is a need for re-engineering of our mindset. In your initial response, you make mention of the fact that yeah, we are not producing much, and whenever our leaders have the opportunity to attend international gathering, it seems to go from a perspective of begging or asking. So how can we change the narrative? And that is what will lead me to my next question: that what mindset shift do you think African youth must embrace to lead effectively? I believe we have identified the fact that there is a need for a mindset shift. So in specific term, what mindset shift does Africa need to embrace for us to lead effectively in the global community?
Well, let me make this first statement. Young people in Africa should always have a mindset of producing, not accepting. The leaders also should have that mindset. If we believe that we can produce and we can engage, we can contribute, then we are heading the direction that we want to go. However, if we don't believe that we are the producers, we are only consumers and the receivers, then we are not going to achieve what we want to achieve. But to change the mindset of African youth, we need a leadership that will understand that youth are the tools that we can use to grow ourselves because they have the energy, they have the resources, and they have the passion for making the continent better. So for me, I believe if we continue to advocate for youth inclusion and youth development by creating enabling environment for the young people to actualize their dreams. So that is a step toward actualizing a type of mindset shift. Because most young people now in Africa believe that they are waiting for a job, not to create solutions to problems in their society. I believe in every society where you find yourself, there is a problem that when you address it, you will make a living out of it and you will engage yourself into it. So for me, I in the continent believe that they are the true agent of change and they are to be producers, not always consumers. We should always produce, not always consume. We should give, not always accept. Because in most cases, the hand that gives is better than the hand that always accept. So the first thing is to make young people to understand that we can produce like our friends from any part of the world. And after doing so, then the leadership and the young people themselves should not fold their arms and say that we have to wait for government to make the environment enabling. No, we have to endure the thing and create an environment whereby we will thrive and we will make ourselves better. This is another thing that we need to understand. Young people themselves should know that they should not wait for anyone to come and save them. We are the saviors of ourselves, and we must act in a way that we are the one to create an enabling environment for ourselves, an environment whereby we make things better for ourselves and continue to do that. And also, that is what we lack in this continent: proper mentorship. Young people lack the guidance from the ones that have past experience and those that have already established themselves. For me, it is a shame that as there are a lot of people that have made it in life, that are leaders in their own space, but they cannot show any person that can fit into their shoe exactly as they wore it. That is to show you that the kind of lack of leadership that we have. Everyone that you see, sometimes if he is not there, there is no one that can actually step into his shoe. One of the things is that we lack proper guidance and mentorship from the leaders. You should try to find a network of young people with potential and build them, so that when you are not there, they will continue the good work that you are doing. But if we continue to do things without guidance and support to the young people, so if you are gone, there is no one that can replace you. So the leaders should understand that, and also the young people that are coming up, try to grow with your peers, so that if you are not there, you can send somebody to replace you and it will work perfectly. Not always to be that if you are not there, then there is no one that can work on that. These are the kind of things and the mindset shift that we need to have in the community to make it better. There should be leadership and mentorship for the young people, so that they can understand that they can contribute enormously and effectively toward the development of the continent, and they are the agent, and they should not wait for anyone to come and save them. They are the ones to create the environment and lead the environment and make it better for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Malam Abdullahi. That's quite comprehensive. Very, very great. Yeah. So let's quickly talk about before we wrap in the next 10 minutes or thereabout. Let's talk about the challenges that young change agents usually face and how they can overcome it. So I would like you to share some of your experiences with us, as a youth advocate, particularly, advocating for a better environment. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced? And you have also noticed that young change makers in your field also face, and what exactly can be done to mitigate these challenges?
Okay, one of the challenges that I believe we face is, number one, lack of access to information. You know, information is power, and data is also power. So most young change makers lack the necessary information they need to thrive in their space. And that will bring me to the second challenge that we face, which is mentorship and guidance from those that have already established themselves in the space. We lack mentors that will genuinely mentor young people to grow to their full potentials. But sometimes, as you are coming up, some of the mentors will see as if you are coming up to take their opportunities, not knowing that whatever step you go, they are the ones to take credit for that, because they make you who you are with the support that you need. So mentorship is also another thing apart from the lack of information and lack of mentorship. Then number three, lack of platforms. We don't have much platform for growth and development. Young people want to contribute, but without the necessary arsenals, that is the tools that you need to lead development in your community, you cannot achieve that. This includes access to trainings and opportunities that will open your mind. Because if you are living in one corner of the world, you will not understand actually how the world is evolving, how things are changing with time. So this is another thing that we lack, the platforms through which young people can learn and grow. And another thing is, if you are not in the system, it is very difficult for you to connect with, because of nepotism and kind of sentiment that whenever opportunity is coming, I will give someone that I know or someone that is close to me. Merit is no longer that we consider while giving opportunity for young people. which is another problem that young people are facing. You will see a young person full of potential, full of energy, but because he doesn't have the necessary connections and the network, that young people will remain in one area until a miracle happens. He meet one or two people at along the line, probably when they are older enough to be out of the system. Then they will start to find the mentorship, which is one of the problems that must advocate are facing. When you are within the age of 19, 20, 21, 22, the ones that you have the energy and the time, you will not have the kind of support that you need, the kind of platforms and the energy. But however, as you move out of your 30s, from there you will meet a lot of people that will open opportunities. And at that time, you are focusing on building family, you are focusing on making your life. So you don't have the energy to give back to the society. You have so many things in your head that you cannot concentrate on that, which is another thing that I believe is also a problem that young advocates are facing, lack of opportunity at early stage. But I believe now, with people like us coming up, we have seen the kind of things that we went through, and we are trying to see that we bring the opportunity to the door of the young people. There are a lot of young people that now are coming off. Last 2 years, I attended a mentorship program organized by Randstad and BSO in partnership. It is a cross-cultural mentorship fairing. I was fed with a mentor from Belgium. But to my surprise, when we come to showcase the kind of interactions that we had, I met a 19-year-old mentor. At that time, I was 26 years old, but I met somebody that is 19 years old. I am a mentee, but a 19-year-old is a mentor. That is to show you the kind of environment difference. There, she was mentored at the age of 16, 17, then train herself and let her come back as a mentor at the age of 19, being the youngest, even among the mentees. She is the youngest, but she is a mentor. So these are the kind of platform that we lack in this part of the world. And I believe now we are creating steps for young people to come in and follow. However, there is one problem that our young people nowadays have, which is the arrival mentality. Young people usually believe that when you give them one or two opportunity, they will believe that they have reached the level to compete with everyone. They will not humble themselves, and with that, it will result to so many blockage, because you see that this is someone that you want to build, but he's raising his shoulder to show you that I have arrived because I have one or two opportunities, which is another problem that I believe young people have nowadays. But we can work on that by showing them that access is not equality. Just because you have access to someone doesn't mean that you are equal to him. There is need for you to learn from so many things. For me, if I see someone with 1 or 2 years of experience in a different field than mine, I believe there is a lot that I can learn from that person, and I can humble myself to learn from him. One of the things that I can share now is that my knowledge of graphic design, I learned it from a mentee. Somebody that I am mentoring was the person also that become my mentor in the graphic design and teach me how to make so many things, especially in terms of presentations, in terms of graphic design. In fact, even the book that I'm working on now, because I am currently writing my first book that I hope to publish next year, early next year or mid of the year. I was trained how to make these things by a mentee, somebody that is way younger than me. I believe I am close to 7 or 8 years older than that person, but I humbled myself to learn, which is another thing that most of young people like myself are not doing. So I believe if we can work on this kind of challenges, African can grow, and we can see a lot of transformation, and these challenges can be addressed, to be honest, if we are serious enough, and if we want to grow the continent. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. A lot to unpack from everything you've said. But central to your submission is the fact that uh, young folk need to, shun the mentality of I have arrived. When you expose them to an opportunity, or when you give them the privilege to get connected to certain platforms, many of them will actually want to ditch you, many of them will actually want to say, "Oh, I now have what it takes to be on my own." And that is actually one factor that is killing mentorship in Africa. Thank you so much for all your wonderful contributions. So, as we wrap the program today, I want you to imagine that you are speaking to over 500 million African youths that may be watching this video anytime. So, what top advice will you give young Africans for them to be first productive, for them to see themselves as agents of economic growth and prosperity? So, what top advice will you give this group of people as we wrap the program?
My dear people, you should know that no one knows what resources and what qualities he possesses until he is put to a test. We have a lot of things that are hidden in us, and if we don't unpack and test ourselves, we will not know what we are holding inside ourselves. We are the change that we have been waiting for, and we are the people that can change the narrative of our continent and our communities and our countries. Let us believe that the pain that we will endure today will be the ease that our children will feel tomorrow. Let us contribute positively toward the development of our society. Don't attack anyone. Most importantly, collaborate with each other. Don't compete. Competition kill morale. But when you coordinate yourself and work together as a formidable force, you will achieve the unbelievable and you will achieve things that nobody will ever imagine that young people could achieve that. With this, I believe if young people come together and work for a common goal in every society, in every corner and every part of the world, we are going to create a change to the society that we believe it will make us the best ever society, and also we create a legacy that our names will be written in golden fame even after our life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Malam Umar Abdullahi. That is very profound and quite comprehensive. Thank you so much. And I want to say a big thank you to all those that have joined us in the course of this conversation. I think the network kicked some persons out. That will be the size of our package on today's episode of the Growth Code podcast, brought to you by Fash Media Concept. I'm your host, Fashmo Michael, and we've discussed youth-led change. How can we build Africa's future with purpose? And I have the privilege of speaking with Marlam Umar Abdullahi, the founding curator of Global Shepherds Community, a youth development advocate, as well as a climate development expert. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for all you do. I believe we can do this again and again and again, probably another topic some other time. And thank you so much for keeping the connection going, even when the distance is thousands of miles away. I'm glad we are able to do this because I believe those that will be watching subsequently, we have one or two lessons to unpack, and this will actually make them a better person for themselves as well as for the continent of Africa. Thank you so much. My name is Fashmo Michael once again. Until I come your way next week with another guest discussing another profound topic, this is the Growth Code podcast, where we empower you and where we want you to do exploits for yourself and for the nation. Have a good day. Bye bye.